Laker fan Anthony Haney, super producer of the program Anthony Haney. We woke up to a Woj bomb this morning.
Yeah, we did.
We woke up to a Woj bomb this morning. The Woj bomb said that not Bob Hurley, wrong Hurley brother. Dan Hurley, the head coach of the Connecticut Huskies, back-to-back national champion in men's college basketball, is being offered a massive sum of money, or they're preparing to offer him a massive sum of money. And the they here is the Los Angeles Lakers. Whoa. And this is extra whoa because the former understudy of Adrian Wojnarowski, which is a fun subplot here, Shams Charania, who is a fine NBA reporter in his own right, had reported all the way back yesterday that the Lakers were zeroing in on J.J. Redick as their head coach. Instead, it looks like Hurley is the leader in the clubhouse. He's about to be offered a ton of money. It does feel like he would take it by the way that Woj is phrasing things. And I think there is the obvious right here in front of our face discussion of what do we make of Hurley for the Lakers. But then there's also this side discussion that if you want 3 hours of maniacs yelling at each other discussing, you can listen to the podcast of the Chris Russell Show today. Those are their words, not mine. Russell and Linnell got into it about kind of the state of college basketball and the state of college sports today, if you want to go listen to some good old yelling sports talk radio. But I think most interestingly right in front of our faces, Anthony, you have a guy coming from the college game, clearly one of the best coaches, that is willing to take this job, and it is one where you are expected to come in and win now. And while there is a long-termism thinking to this, that he's a guy that can develop a culture and be the leader of a future rebuild, if you're the Lakers, like, you're also not – you're making this hire knowing that LeBron can leave this summer. And I actually really respect them for that. That if they think Bob Hurley is the right guy for them long-term – Dan Hurley is the right guy for them long-term, then they should absolutely – make this move, and I think he's obviously can coach at a high level. He's back-to-back national champion. But he also can be a guy that sets a tone for them moving forward.
Yeah, and I just think the Lakers having a long-term or thinking long-term as far as their head coach goes is like long overdue. They've had too many coaches come 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, and it's more so I think Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, I think it's more so on them, doing away with these coaches because, again, I think these coaches, they do a good enough job. You make it to the Western Conference Finals. You make it to the semifinals. Like, you're constantly making the play. You end up winning a championship, and that's still never enough to, give you enough leeway to build the roster or do with the roster what you want to do. And it's more so, I guess, the power-ups controlling the situation, and they have the right to do so.
100%. And by the way, this is them learning from their mistake, maybe finally. Like, this is the mistake they made that killed them at the end of the Kobe era, was they just kind of said, yeah, dude, whatever. And they gave him that insane contract that killed them for not just 2 years while he was playing on. It was like 2 years, like $50 million or whatever it was. That just, for a guy coming off Achilles at his age, there was no reason to give him that contract. It was an extension for like a lifetime achievement award, but the salary cap doesn't care about your lifetime achievements. And so they just sacrificed a half decade of basketball, and it took LeBron James deciding that he wanted to sign there as the thing that saved them. And now if they're like, hey, LeBron, if you want to stay, like, we'll happily keep you. But LeBron has basically said, like, I don't have a lot of time left. He has been way more open to retiring soon than he ever has before. This isn't Tom Brady that's like, I might play forever, and then I'm going to retire and come back and retire and come back, and now he's been gone. He's like, I don't know. Never count me out. Like, this is not him. This is not Brett Favre. Like, LeBron is eventually going to hang this thing up, and it very well might be after this season. And the Lakers going, okay, we need to think about post-LeBron versus everything that we do is about trying to win a title this season at the expense of what happens after. That's responsible management of a basketball team, something that the Los Angeles Lakers don't feel like they've done in 2 decades.
Yeah, I just think the Lakers' problem in general, not just with the coaching staff, it's just their forward thinking. They're only thinking 1 to 2 years in advance. They're not thinking 5, 10 years down the road, and I think that's been a detriment to the roster itself. You look at the guys that they let go. They let the KCPs go. Like they let the Kyle Kuzmas walk out the door. Just the talent that they had there in general. I don't know what their forward thinking was, to be honest.
They went star hunting, which is like, it's one thing to go hunt for stars because they can play. It's another, and they fit what you want. It's another to hunt for stars because they have name value and maybe grew up close by. And that's what they did for Russell Westbrook. He very clearly did not fit there. And the fact that Russ adapted his game, like, I have so much, this is a sidebar, but I have so much appreciation for Russell Westbrook as a basketball player and how he's handled the last 3 years of his career. Because he made it work. Like, he's still Russell Westbrook. He wasn't going to turn into an incredible three-point shooter overnight because that's what they needed. Like, he was still him. But he tried his best to make it work in L.A. And then his willingness to come off the bench this year for the Clippers and then just, okay, this guy's hurt, now let me start, let me do it. Like, his ability to, and his adaptability, his willingness to change what he's doing based off the team needs to the best that he could, realizing that he was consistently a square peg trying to be shoved into a round hole. Like, I appreciate that on a human level about Russell Westbrook. For what Rob Pelinka and them did, nonsense, craziness. And I hope that the next phase, because the NBA is better when the Lakers are good, right? I hope that the next phase of them is spent being responsible, which is going to be interesting because Rob Pelinka, a former agent, he's made some okay moves as a GM, but certainly not a guy that you're like, oh, that's the best scout I've ever seen. And that's kind of the phase that they need to go in. Because I think the other thing, too, is like the Lakers still are in some ways a family business where like you have other teams that are run like private equity type of guys like Josh Harris or like major businesses like Josh Harris. The Lakers are often described as still like this family business that is a lot smaller as an organization despite their funds and despite their prestige. I think what I'm hoping is like a guy like Dan Hurley comes in and is like, we got to do better than this. And like that organization kind of grows up and evolves into what a modern NBA organization looks like.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, though, Craig. Like, I love Hurley. I think what he's done at the collegiate level, I think it's Hall of Fame worthy, to be honest. You go back-to-back championships and also what you've done before those championships. But I just feel as though if Hurley leaves, man, I don't know if I can look at college basketball the same, just because there's just been so many greats leaving. Like, I want to say, like, you got Kelvin what is his name?
Kelvin Sampson at Houston. But
at Houston, like, who Bill Self at Kansas, Tom Izzo, of course. But after that, like, I can't think of, like, any household names that have, been in the game for so long, just because we've seen the Roy Williams leave. We've seen Coach K leave. We've seen all these
Jay Wright,
Jim
Boeheim.
Yep.
Boeheim would be so mad if we didn't put him in there.
I was about to. I felt bad because I'm like, hold on.
He was around a long time.
Yeah. Just what it's going to do
the nicest thing I can say about Jim Boeheim. He was around a long time.
the college basketball.
And I wonder why they don't invite me to any of the alumni events. Maybe
do they
that's
have
it.
Email
maybe
still?
They certainly ask me for money. They have the email for that.
Okay.
I tell you what, though. I actually want to talk about this next. I want to talk about the college basketball side of this next. So we'll talk about that. And then at 6:30, as more and more fans keep piling in here at Capital One Arena, we will turn our eyes towards tonight, Mystics and Sky.
What's up, kiddos? It's your boy Clinton Yates from ESPN. It's the Hoffman Show on the Team 980. Tell your mama I said what's up.